So hi and welcome back, and yeah, I'm still doing film photography, and I'm going to go through with you now the AGFA film, the AGFA HDC high definition color. Well, that's more modern, isn't it? More today. Anyway, we're going to go through that now, and I didn't film while I was out, but I actually just done a recording, and you can see the photographs I've done. Anyway, don't forget, in the description below there's a link to my new channel. It's all about documentary making, so take a look at that as well. Enjoy. Okay, so welcome to this video, and I'm playing around with different microphones. I've got a whole selection of microphones and different recorders, and I just thought, well, you know what, I've got some time today, I'll do that. So what I've done is, these are the HDC photographs I took a few weeks ago, and they yeah, so the guy who sold me the film used an inexactitude by saying that they were kept chilled. They weren't. You can see that. However, this film would have been truly amazing. I've got so much more time for AGFA than I had before, and I wish back in the day when I used to do film photography that I actually took some photographs with them. I barely used it. I used their black and white film, but not their colour. And I've seen their slide film. I've done their slide film, and it's been absolutely amazing. So anyway, we're going to look at these photographs. You can see them on the screen now, and we're going to take a look, and I've numbered them, so we'll go chronologically. It's easier for me to edit them when I do that. Okay, so you can see they are really quite grainy, and however, the tones within this, the browning of the horse chestnut tree, the conker tree, is super rich. The greens are super rich. Now they've got this illness that kills the bacteria that kills the leaves and stuff, and I wanted to capture this, but I wanted to get as close as I could with the Olympus lens, I could with the 50mm lens, to do these types of shots. So I've done 2 or 3 of these. I'll just go through them now, and you can see them, and the greens and the browns have come up really fantastic. Now later on, as we go through these, you'll see that some of them are not as good as this, but and just look at that horse chestnut in the middle there. Look at that. Now bearing in mind this is a 20-year expired film, and I shot it at 100 ISO instead of 200. Now if I'd have come down to 50 ISO, I would have got more dense negatives. However, you can see on the negatives that they were actually it clearly hadn't been stored properly, and you will get the aging effect, which it had. The actual etchings looked really opaque. Okay, let's carry on. And one with the light coming in behind, and you can see the bokeh balls, and the actual Olympus ones, the actual Olympus OM10 ones, they're really quite round. I'm really quite surprised, and they don't tend, there's less cat's eyes on the if you look over on the left hand side there, you can see the cat's eyes aren't that bad. One more, I got a bit carried away again looking under. Now these are really fantastic. As I say, the colour rendition on them is really good. The bouquet is great. The browns are great. But let's carry on and see what else we've got. Now, this one was taken in the play park. Just started being raining. That's why I went there. I didn't want anyone about. I just wanted to take my photographs. And the colours are quite accurate. However, obviously because it's an older lens and you're pointing towards the sun, you get that blowout effect at the top. But these colours are accurate. Now, I'd love to see what this film looked like when it was new. I think this is one of those really underrated films that you can buy. They could buy back then, and I say I wish I'd bought more. I was so obsessed by Fuji. I don't know why. I was obsessed with Fuji. Anyway, but what happened was I managed to, towards the end of my doing film photography, I managed to do a lot of stuff on Konica, and this has that same wow, I should have used this film as the Konica did back then. And just a few in the play park with different angles and getting different colours, different depths of field and that. So, and there you go from another angle. I wanted to just get the colours in, so the actual what is it, a maggot? Oh, it is, it's an apple and a maggot. And then get the blues, the light blues and the greens. I don't know if they're thought they were meant to be white. I don't know. I'd have to go and check the background here. One of like the whole play area, and these colours look quite muted, but the actual climbing frame was actually quite muted. It wasn't really vibrant. They were not really vibrant colours. And where I live, there had been a few, I'd have to call them arson attacks, but they were literally mostly down by the river and not in the housing estates. And there's one footpath that takes me towards a shop, and when I got there, the fire service, they were putting out this actual fence fire. Now there's no way the fence could have caught fire by itself. There's no reason it would. So I think this was part of the attack, and this has come up quite accurate to what I was actually seeing. And there's another shot as well with the more smoke when the actual fireman is actually further down. They've actually rebuilt the fence already. I was really surprised how quickly they got that done. And if you've seen my other videos, you've especially seen the ones with the when I was testing out the different lenses, and I took a photograph of this in black and white, and this doesn't work. It's got color shifting. I was down there today, and you can see the color shift in the actual photograph. Another thing I noticed, but I don't know if I can see it in some of the other photographs, you can see, I don't know if it's visible on here, but where you go into the shadow areas, you get a green. So basically, it's like where the exposure has not been quite right, because obviously the age of the film, and you get these. To me, it looks green anyway. Yet the actual blue of the sky looks fine, and the colouring of the London Eye looks good as well. And I was going over the Queen Elizabeth, which one? It was the Golden Jubilee Bridge. Looking down the Thames to Houses of Parliament and obviously the London Eye. I've been on there, actually, the London Eye, and I actually had a private pod. There was only 4 of us in there, but that's another story. If you want me to tell you that story, say in the comments below. And I've done this photograph so many times, and this is where I've been saying in videos I've lost my mojo, because I'm just photographing the same things I've done before. I need to be more out there. I need to be doing more stuff that is original for me. And again, see, I've done these type of shots before, just more of the same, but it shows just how good. If you actually look at the wheels on the actual vans, look how white they are. They're fantastic. And I don't know what its exposure latitude was, what its dynamic range was, but this was in shade. You can see the people on the right hand side walking away holding hand in hand. I'm not sure. It was actually really quite a bright day, but we were in shade by where we were standing, so it's actually recovered quite well, to be honest with you. And I've done this type of shot before. Again, the actual building looks quite muddy, and it's in shadow, so, and the grain is very obvious in the sky in this one. The red colour isn't quite as vibrant as it really is. But we're looking at a 20-year-old film that's been expired and not looked after. And I did this one with an Olympus lens on a digital camera, and this is, for some reason, has come up really well. It must have been quite bright underneath the actual bridge to have all this detail still on there. But cracking exposure, to be honest with you. And another one of the bridge, yeah, that's why the sun was on the right hand side, reflecting back up from the actual water itself. And this shot is over in Shad Thames, and there's like a little gift shop, London gift shop type thing. And I was looking at the actual Union flags, not Jacks, they're not on a ship, they're Union flags. So we're looking at Union flags and the different types of key rings and stuff like that, and it looks so vibrant when I was taking the shot, and it still has that vibrance there. You can see the colour is really good, the reds, whites and blues. Fantastic. So, and I think I was quite wide open. I was at about, I don't know, I was probably at 2.8 because it was quite dark. Although it looks bright, it wasn't as bright as you perhaps think it was, and you've got that drop off of the actual depth of field in the foreground. And I like the shot of the number 36. I don't know what it resembles. I guess it's 36 Shad Thames. I guess I'm not sure for certain, but anyway, that gives you an idea. With drop focus, I don't know if I changed lenses by this time. I don't know if that's why I got the drop off on the previous shot. I think I may have changed lenses. I may have put my 70 to 150 on. Interesting. Or I may not have been using the Olympus at all. And I've taken this shot before, and this is quite flat, and I'm surprised that it's quite flat, because looking at the other shots we've done in bright light, we've got a better vibrance to them, and this one hasn't got that. I'm guessing, again, that's the age of the film. And I've done this shot so many times before, and it basically, if you're testing them, it's a good idea, because you've got the vibrant colours of the red and the white. And what's really surprising, if you look right in the far distance, you can see the post office tower, or the BT tower, and it looks really, really huge. It stands out prominently, almost in shadow. Apparently, I don't know if this is true, but until recently it wasn't even on maps, because it was used for secret stuff. If you know more about that, comment below. And I went to, obviously, the South Bank Centre, and I did a couple of shots here. This is the one of the stairs. Now, looking at it on the big screen, this looks a lot better than I thought it did, because I've only seen it on my phone earlier on, and you've got the pastel colours going up the stairs, and that's what I really wanted to capture, and it's done that quite well. Now, that may have worked better as a black and white shot, but we'll see. And I've done these photographs in black and white before, and the stairs, and it's come up really well. Those colours are pretty accurate as well, so I'm quite pleased with that one. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that, and I've got more stuff coming soon. I will be continuing doing film photography. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in a video very, very soon.